Bowman Baseball is out now. This is your chance to get the first Bowman of the prospect that you've been looking for. Is this considered their true rookie card? And how long do you hold on to their first before the card goes up or down? What is up, everybody? I am Dappz here with Ethan, and welcome to another episode of Up or Down, the show where we explore what really moves a card's value. Today, we're going to be going over First Bowman, which is releasing this week, widely regarded as the pinnacle Topps product. But today, we're also going to go over the NBA playoffs. We're going to go over which players' card prices are going up or down based on their playoff performances. Okay, so historically, the first Bowman rookie card of any given player is the most valuable that exceeds any sale of any Topps Chrome rookie card. Would you agree with that? And also, what do you think about the Superfractor sales of first Bowman's Paul Skeens and then the Topps Chrome rookie update that sold for more than the first Bowman Paul Skeens?
Yeah, well, statistically, the first Bowmans will always be the most expensive, but they also kind of show how your career is stretched on. Like when you come into the league early, if you're a top prospect, your first Bowmans are fairly expensive. If you start doing bad, they will drop off quick. If you're not as heralded, your first Bowman cards are fairly cheap and could spike 20, 30x. But it also kind of brings back the whole Mike Trout first Bowman. Wasn't that a multi-million-dollar card? You know, that card sold in his 10th year. And now in his 16th year, that card's probably 1/3 of what it used to be. So over the time period of your career, your first Bowman graph is kind of showing how you impacted like your look in the league.
So is Paul Skeens' first Bowman Superfractor going up or down in price from what it just sold for?
I mean, like we talked about that debut patch sale, it has to be up 2-3x. It has to be closer to that sale. This could be the only player in history where the debut patch has outsold the first Bowman auto.
Is there a player in this year's product who you think is going up or down in a big way?
I mean, so when you get into breaks, you always will notice that the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox will always be more expensive because the fan base follows those prospects. So players like Zaire Hope, who are maybe a year or two away, will be coming up on rosters filled with like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani. So people like him and Jesus Mate are on the upward trend because they're going to make it into the league faster than their players.
So with this new fan cash program that Fanatics has released, are you a fan of this? Do you think that it's going to increase the price of first Bowman cards, or are cards going to go up in price because of this program? I think they're incentivizing people to hold cards longer. What do you think?
Well, Bowman first is not the red logo. The red logos will be on the rookie cards. The rookie cards in Bowman statistically do not sell for anything. Even the autos, like if you compare, I bought an Adley rookie Bowman auto for about $300 when the Bowman first does about $1,500. They're just trying to add value into these rookie cards into Bowman. But the issue is that if you check the graph, we have an MVP is only $300. A Hall of Fame is $1,000. If you have a player that has won an MVP, has made the Hall of Fame, has won Rookie of the Year, that card in a PSA 10 will be worth 5 times more than the $1,500 in credit you're going to get for hats and sneakers on the Fanatics account.
Doesn't seem worth it, does it?
No, I mean, it adds a little bit of value to the rookies, but are you just going to... How rare are these? Are these one per pack? Are there 50 of these in each pack? If they're just all willy-nilly, then sure, yeah, it'll be kind of worth it. But then you think Fanatics is going to hand out millions of dollars once Zaire Hope makes the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, I think that it's interesting. There's only going to be 2 players who win Rookie of the Year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the AL and the NL, I mean. So fan cash value, $100.
Not bad.
What is the mechanism in which this gets proven, though? I'm not really understanding.
So, like, let's say Jackson Merrill this year had a red rookie card,
right?
And then you could cash it in for $100. You're kind of saying that Jackson Merrill is going to fall off the next 3 years, and that he's probably just an average prospect, and then you just want to get your money out of it. But like let's say I had.
But how
like,
much is the card worth itself?
If it's SSP, if these are like 3 per case, the card's probably worth like $500.
So the card's worth 500, and then Fanatics is giving you an extra 100. Like I don't understand, or they're just giving you $100.
Do they give you more if it's like a 10?
What, are you getting $600 in value for that $500 card?
No, you're getting $100.
You're getting $100. That's
Yeah.
it. Even though the card's worth 500.
Yeah, most likely.
Why?
Well, I don't know what the rules really are.
Why would anyone do that? Is my question.
If it was a thing where it's like for each MVP,
That
it
sounds
multiplies?
like your card is going down in
Yeah.
price, never up.
Well, yeah, they're trying to buy in low. They create the market and they're dictating the prices for them. Per se, like I want to say this red is worth at least $100. Now people are going to be looking on eBay like scalping for these cards and saying that I'll pay $100 per.
Okay, let's talk about another player who's been on the shelf for a little while. I want to know if his price is going up or down because he should be returning to action, and that's Ronald Acuna. The red out of 5 first Bowman Acuna sold for $360K. This is back in 2021 when prices were a little bit inflated, but based on the average price of that today, let's say it went down, like you said, to 1/3 of that price. From the price that we're going to agree it is right now, today's price, is that going up or down? Is Acuna about to bounce back and lead the Braves to victory? Doubtful because the Mets are the best team in baseball. But could it happen?
As a player, I'm a little scared about Ronald Acuna. This is his 3rd ACL injury in the league, and he's known as a stolen base guy. But as a hitter in general, he's always been a plus 300 hitter. He's always had 30 home runs. He's going to be in the league for a long time with or without an ACL. So let's say we take the stolen bases away from his game. He's still probably a top 20 hitter in the league. So he'll maintain value, but it definitely won't be elite value. It won't be like in the rooms of the Mookie and the Otanis because I think he had a 40-70 season 2 years ago. And with no ACLs, I mean, it's going to be hard to take 70 bags.
Well, it's interesting, though, because he, after one ACL injury, I think everyone thought that he was done for, came back, and I think that's when he had his MVP season.
Yeah, but the problem is he's still, I think, only 27, 28 years old. They're not going to green light him to steal 100 bags anymore because they don't want him sidelined for another year. So let's look at like the early 2000 Marlins. Miguel Cabrera was playing center field for them, was probably a 185-pound prospect and hitting 320. They're like, hey, buddy, we're going to throw you at first base, put 150 pounds in your frame and let you just swing for the fences. So I can see Ronald Acuna maybe not playing center field anymore, maybe shifting to left or right, maybe gaining weight and starting to hit for more power. But either way, if he at this rate, his cards are going to be plummeting because we're taking away something that we know he can do, and we're going to try to rebrand him for something he isn't.
Do you know whose first Bowman is going up wildly over the last 30 days? I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with skeet.
Oh, boy. Pete hits one out of sight to left field.
I mean, Pete Alonso's first Bowman.
Big Meat Pete. That's
is
his name.
Definitely up. The only issue I have with the Pete Alonso first Bowman is he's kind of getting old. He's like in the 30s now. Only been in the league for like 5 years, but he came out of college super old. His stuff is generally up, but it won't just like break thresholds because his career is like he's not going to be a Hall of Famer.
Dude is mashing, number one. Number two, he's in arguably the hottest market there is in all of sports and sports cards, New York. So you're just creating a larger demand. If the Mets win a championship and Pete Alonso is the reason for that, and by the way, there's a lot of players on the Mets who could win an MVP, and I think we just saw it with the Dodgers. Everybody thought Ohtani is the man who's going to take us to the promised land. What happens? Freddie Freeman is their saving grace, hits a home run every other at-bat, wins MVP. So it's not always the guy who should win the MVP wins the MVP in baseball, and I think that's true in baseball more than any other sport, right? Like in football, predominantly, quarterback wins the MVP 9 out of 10 times, right? In basketball, the guy who is the guy, the LeBron James, the Joker, the SGA, I guess you could argue with the Warriors, but even when KD came to town, like KD and Steph were the second and third best player in the league. Either one of them wins it. Mm-hmm. In baseball, I mean, Jorge Soler, World Series MVP. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people watching this might not even know who that is. So in baseball, a guy who's just really hot for a 7-game or 4-game series, like he can win the MVP. Mm-hmm. So for the Mets, you've got Lindor, you've got Soto in town, you've got Pete Alonso. Like, you've got three guys who, if any of those guys won the MVP of a 7-game series, I don't think you're really surprised, is my whole point.
Two names that are actually skyrocketing right now who are both in the MVP candidates is Pete Crow and Armstrong on the Cubs. PCA is taking the Cubs for the #1 seed in their division, and not only is leading the team in offense, but I think he's only 22 years old, so his stuff is skyrocketing. Another guy who used to be in the MVP, who has fallen out last year, is Corbin Carroll, who's came back and is now just smashing again. Corbin Carroll's probably like 5'8" right now, but can still have some power, hit 40 bombs and 40 steals, and if the Diamondbacks finish first or second in that division, and he's kind of the only name on offense people know about, both these guys, their cards will skyrocket and will be in the MVP candidate.
That's a really tough division.
Super tough division. The Padres look really good as well.
So as it stands right now, Ohtani is third in MVP voting. Like, I know we're only 30 days into the season, but believe it or not, and that's just like insane to think. You would think that Ohtani just has the lead the whole year. Tatis is mashing. He's actually in the 1 spot. And then Alonso's in second, and then
really?
Ohtani, which is just insane because throughout the season, you would imagine Ohtani, if he's not in the 1 spot, is in the 2 spot. But listen, there's a lot of talent in baseball right now. Judge is #1 right now with, I think, Bobby Witt behind him in the AL. But
yeah, well, no one's gonna beat Judge in the AL. He's just, if you check fantasy, he is probably like 100 points farther away from the next guy. But another couple of young names are all in the Boston Red Sox. Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer, Wilmer Abreu, Roman Anthony. Investing in the Red Sox now as a 2 seed in the AL East is kind of a good look. They have too many good young guys that one of them is going to be a perennial All-Star, potential Hall of Famer.
Well, I mean, the Red Sox have also been there multiple times before and recently too. So if the Red Sox somehow snuck into a wild card or into the playoffs and they beat the Yankees, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by that. I mean, look what the Knicks just did to the Celtics last night. Like, it happens. It happens in sports, right? Like, teams that aren't supposed to win can make things happen.
Punch an open triple. Got it.
Jalen Brunson cards going up or down?
Jalen Brunson cards only go up because he's on the Knicks, but the second they realize that Tom Thibodeau is going to run his knees out of town and make him a paraplegic very soon, then he'll cards go back down, just like Derrick Rose.
As a Knicks fan, it was tough for me. I had an opportunity to buy at a 99 NT True Brunson, and it was cheap. It was like between $4,000 and $8,000, I think. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I saw a 9.5 at $13,000 last night on someone's Instagram story. They are still kind of cheap.
Yeah, and I just, if it was a Knicks patch, I would have bought it, but I couldn't pull the trigger. And, it's probably up from the time I saw it last year. So,
but no one on the Knicks have any collectability because they're all just not Knicks players who just ended up on that team. And Tom Thibodeau is going to kill all those guys.
I don't know, because Brunson, they're already making statements on like New York outlets and media that Brunson is arguably the greatest Knick ever, which is kind of pathetic.
I hear that every 10
right?
years.
But if the Knicks were to win a championship and he won MVP, like, he's kind of the greatest Knick ever immediately, which is
Dude,
a
if the
joke.
Knicks win a championship and you have Knicks cards, you are rich.
Yeah, so like you're going way up, but I agree. Like, the oldest tenured Knick is Mitch Robinson. So they said that KP the God, Kristaps Porzingis, he was drafted, and I want to say, I forget what year he was drafted, but the last time he played was like February 2018, and the only remaining player who was even close to him, who did not play with him, was drafted 3 months after he left the team in 2018, which was Mitchell Robinson, which is just bizarre because it doesn't seem that far removed. And Kristaps also went to like 3 freaking different teams, went to Dallas, went to Washington, somehow gets to the Celtics.
Yeah, he was on Washington.
Yeah, so, it's been a long time since I even remember rooting for him, but it's cool to see this Celtics-Knicks matchup.
A lot of hobby movement happen on the big teams. Like, owning like Milwaukee Bucks and Toronto Raptor cards have no like even if they win the championship, those cards don't go flying up. But if you own Dodger cards or Knicks cards and they end up being winning teams, and you can see like last year with Ohtani, if Ohtani won a championship with the Angels last year, his cards wouldn't be as up as they are today. Just because he's on the Dodgers and is winning really culminates into 5xing your value.
100%. And I mean, listen, Ohtani has the luxury of, and people who collect Ohtani, you have an international market, so you already have more people who want to buy Ohtani cards. Then you have Dodgers fans now, so, and LA as a whole, right? So like you just have more fans of this guy. So, you know, like I said, LA and New York, if you're in those markets, the potential of your card going up in price. I mean, a buddy of mine collects Mikal Bridges over the last 5 years, and I always called him stupid. And then when he went to the Knicks, I'm like, those cards are up. His whole PC went up. And he had like all of these black one-of-ones. And again, like they weren't that much money. You know, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. He's making trades for them at shows at the Mint Collective, at the National, and I'm always like rolling my eyes. And then all of a sudden it's like, you don't even need the Knicks or Bridges to make that significant of an impact for your card price to go up. Bridges goes to the Knicks. Immediately your card is up 10, 20%, right? Because he's in New York, even though the Knicks stink, right? You have this huge fan base now of New Yorkers who are willing to buy this card. Demand has went up. Now the Knicks win in the first round. They're playing the Celtics, who, for whatever reason, over the last couple of years, like the Knicks have not had to play the Celtics. They've either lost first or the Celtics lost, and we didn't have to play them. And it's been this like rivalry that's been brewing. Like, why haven't we played the Celtics in the playoffs? And then the Knicks, out of nowhere, come back from 20, win. Bridges has this incredible defensive play. Like, now you're up even more on those Bridges cards. And I'm only using this as an example for the hobby of it's Mikal Bridges, arguably third, fourth, fifth option on the Knicks. And there's still money to be made on this guy's team. So this is where if you can start to collect some cards of a team, all you need to do is figure out a team who's going to win one round in the playoffs. Look at what Jaden Daniels did. Now rookie is an amplifier, obviously. Jaden Daniels beat the Lions.
Yeah, so this kind of ties back into the Bowman thing where it's like you could get players who are on important teams and those prospects will go up gradually just because of the team they're on. And then also you can get these unheralded prospects on teams that will probably move them to the other team, and you can make tons of money. Like if you go through the Bowman checklist and you grab a lot of Reds players, Marlins players, A's players who are just good prospects who won't be like, let's say they're outside the top 100 but inside the top 500. If they were on the Red Sox or Yankees, they'd be valuable people. But since they're on these low-tier teams, they won't be. And then you wait till they get traded to a good team.
So between these three guys, I want you to tell me who you think has the biggest potential to go up or down. Jesus Made on the Brewers.
Jesus made it, yes.
Jesus made me. Charlie Condon on the Rockies, or J.J. Weatherholt on the Cardinals. Who is going up, or who has the potential to go up in price the most that people should be looking out for in this year's Bowman
So when I
release?
look at Bowman personally, I look at two things I want. One is I do not want a college guy. I want a younger guy. I want someone who's coming to the league and just goes straight into development. A lot of these older guys are kind of capped, like let's say Pete Alonso. You know, if you're coming in the league at 24 years old, you only have a certain amount of years till you're 27. That's your peak age. The second thing I look for is the developmental program. Like if you're going to the Mariners, you're probably just never making it out of the minor league. So my two favorite players on this list, I like J.J. Weatherholt. He's in the Cardinals. The Cardinals know how to develop players, and he actually already has all the talents to be called up quicker than other people. But my number one guy on that list is Jesus Made. He's just a crazy talented cat.
I kind of don't like any of these guys, and I'll tell you why. It's because all of these markets are horrible. Like Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Colorado are just, they're not the markets that you want to be in, like we talked about with LA and New York. And obviously we can't have every single player play for, you know, a New York or a California team. But at the same time, Jackson Chourio. Listen, that's a weird kind of team because the Brewers looked really good. My Mets mashed them last year, took them out. Devin Williams is a joke. He just lost the closer's role in the Yankees bullpen to Luke Weaver, and he might get kicked off the team because his ERA is over 10, by the way. He can't even pitch in like the 6th or 7th inning, let alone the 9th. And that's all because of Big Meat Pete, by the way, because he smashed that home run.
Back at the wall. Out of here.
J.J. Weatherholt. I would agree. St. Louis Cardinals, they're like a baseball factory, except in recent years, they've kind of fallen off. And I've actually, I don't know how I ended up on like a St. Louis Cardinals fan thread, but they were just like crying about how the St. Louis Cardinals always put these teams together of just like a true team. There's no huge star. They had Pujols. After that, I'm sure Cardinals fans will roast me, but there's never this like MVP caliber guy in the Cardinals. They're always just putting this scrappy team together, and they're always like in contention. The Cardinals are kind of like in the playoff mix every year. More recently, Cardinals fans don't feel that way, but maybe J.J. Weatherholt is the guy who they bring up. And who's the kid Jordan Walker too?
Yeah, Jordan Walker, Nolan Gorman, Brendan Donovan. Like a lot of these guys haven't became what they wanted them to be, but all of them have potential. Like Mason Wynn's a very good shortstop. Brendan Donovan could hit the ball, but if this J.J. Weatherholt isn't a home run, then they're probably going to be stagnant for the next couple of years.
Well, we'll see if Cardinals cards go up or down. I'm not in love with these three markets for the card potential. I think though that again, you get traded to a bigger market team, whether it be the Cubs or whether it be the Astros or the Phillies or the Padres, right? All these different teams that are playing really, really well right now. If they do end up getting traded to one of these teams, that's where you see the card go up in price very, very quickly.
Yeah, like if PCA was on the A's right now, no one would be talking about him.
Nobody.
Tyler Sauter's been smashing for the A's, and no one even knows who he is.
Yep. And by the way, but that's the potential of is it Soderstrom? Soderstrom?
I mean, I'm illiterate. So
listen though, if Soderstrom is or doesn't have eyes on him right now, but he gets traded at the deadline to a bigger market team or a team that could potentially win a series in the playoffs, and I think that's, some free advice to people watching is if you believe in a team, even if it's just a team, right, that's going to win a series in the playoffs unexpectedly, you don't even need a top guy on that team. Look, like we talked about with Mikal Bridges, right? Third, fourth, fifth, sixth best player. They have one big game. Boom. That's your opportunity to sell. If you're not PCing that guy, right, and you want to make some money on these cards, that's when you do it, is in these playoff moments. And I think we're seeing that in basketball right now. Listen, the Cavs, I don't really know who has the biggest potential to go up or down. Evan Mobley, like I just don't see him having a game where everyone's like, oh my God, Evan Mobley.
In basketball, the only meteoric rise I can see right now is if Ant-Man beats Steph Curry, then we're going to be revisiting. Remember last year he went up 3x? Imagine if he goes again up 3x this year. If Ant-Man's in the Western Conference Finals, we're going to see a huge bump in his bubble.
I would agree with Ant-Man having the biggest potential because of beating both LeBron and Steph, by the way, back-to-back. SGA, even if he beats the Nuggets and does win a championship, I think he's kind of like already at his peak or very close to it because he's just been going up so much. So I don't see the potential of that.
I could see more potential in J-Dub going up than Shea.
I could see Aaron Gordon going up too.
I mean, 2-game winners. I didn't know he shot threes. He saw that three last night. When did he start shooting threes?
When he took the shot, I was like, no chance. But listen, Aaron Gordon's always been able to he has always been a key contributing player to the Nuggets, and he's just, he's behind Joker. He's behind Jamal Murray as a guy who's going to shoot a big shot, right? And KCP was obviously in town too, big-time defender. And Michael Porter Jr., by the way, he was just supposed to be this superstar.
He sucks.
And I think Gordon obviously has surpassed MPJ as the third option there. And then you get a guy like Westbrook who comes to town, and he's going to bring energy to the team too, but that's an interesting card that could go up too if Westbrook gets a championship. Even if he's not the top guy or second guy on the team, Westbrook's card has the potential to go up with that championship.
People like Westbrook and Derrick Rose are just solidified in time. They'll always have a following. People love them. If you go to the overseas and you look at prices for Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Derrick Rose, three guys that haven't won shit, they're all first ballot Hall of Famers, and they're all super collectible. So Westbrook winning a championship will help, but people like him and James Harden don't need championships. They are Hall of Famers, and they will always have markets. What happened to the Nuggets last night?
Like every team, by the way, I think they said if you parlayed all of the basketball underdogs for $100, I think you made like $20,000. You could fact check me on that, but it was the Pacers money line, the Knicks money line. The Pacers beat the Cavs
and the Nuggets.
The Nuggets money line, and who's the last team we're forgetting?
Didn't play yet.
It was Golden State beating the Rockets. I don't know. Whatever it was, if you parlayed those four, $100 made $16,000.
Yeah, I had OKC minus 11.5 last night. I turned it off at halftime when they were up like 12. And
some savage in the middle of the Knicks Celtics game when the Knicks were down 20, put $1,000 on the Knicks. He won $36,000. Imagine in a half, not even a full game, you win $36,000. You 36x your money off $1,000. The balls to put $1,000 on the Knicks down 20 is in Boston is also insane.
Good for the Knicks, man. They're one and only win this. Look at this whole series. Good for them.
Jalen Brunson is unreal. Like if you watch basketball, the things that he I'm as a Knicks fan, I'm like no fucking way when he shoots and he hits these shots and they're absolutely insane. It's going to be a tough series though because the Celtics missed a record 45 3-point shots, and I don't see that happening for the duration of the series. But also, you live and die by the three ball. Like if you don't shoot the three well 2 or 3 games, it's over.
Oh yeah.
So they got to get it together, and the Knicks are dogs, and they're going to get rebounds, and they're going to hustle. And Cat and Josh Hart didn't play like the whole second quarter. So
yeah, but Bridges and OG Anunoby are the heart of that team. Their defenses, they're lights out since overtime, playing 50 minutes.
Did you see on the last play, Bridges literally took the ball from Jaylen Brown?
Dude, the hustle on that guy.
So, all right, everybody, thank you for watching this week's episode of Up or Down. I am Dappz, co-host Ethan here. We appreciate you guys. Please let us know in the comments which prospect in this year's Bowman product has the potential to go the highest. Which NBA cards are you about to sell right now because you made so much money? Tell us if we're wrong or if you have an opinion about anything you heard today. We are an open book. Subscribe. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff that YouTube people ask you to do. We appreciate everybody for watching. Please, please, please tell us what you want to hear about next week. See you next time.